guys and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well. This is episode number 5 of the Glacial Landscapes and Change series over on my channel. If you haven't seen the rest of them, I'll link the playlist up here for you. It's not even up there, it's up here. I always do this. Yeah, I'll link the playlist up here for you so you can catch up on the rest of them. I make these over on my channel every week, every Monday, 4:30 p.m. Although I think this is Earth Week, I think this is when this is going out, so there'll be one every day this week. Today we're focusing on mass balance and glaciers as a system. Please share this with a friend if you find it useful, share it with your geography teacher, or if you're not studying geography, you're still so welcome here, you're still so welcome to learn about the world. Yeah, without further ado, let's just get straight on into this video. We have a lot to learn. Avalanche! Avalanches can be deadly. For example, every year 27 people are killed on average in Colorado's Rocky Mountains by the sudden massive downhill movement of snow and ice. Avalanches can be triggered by heavy snowfall, steep slopes and vibrations, and are just one of the inputs of a glacial system. What is a glacial system? Think of a glacier as an open system where inputs from and outputs to other systems such as the hydrological cycle. Mass balance. Whether a glacier is growing or shrinking depends on the balance between accumulation and ablation. So accumulation, there's stuff being added to it, and ablation, it's retreating. The year-to-year change in this ice budget is known as the mass balance of ice. It is calculated by dividing the glacier into two zones. The accumulation zone, where there is a net gain of ice over the course of a year. Here inputs exceed outputs, so this is at the top of your glaciers usually. And then the ablation zone. Here is where there is a net loss of ice during a year. Here, outputs exceed inputs. The mass balance varies over the course of a year. Ablation is at its highest during the summer due to the rapid melt of the ice. However, during the winter, higher amounts of snowfall and limited melting result in accumulation exceeding ablation. Why do glaciers advance and retreat? Glaciers advance and retreat in response to long-term trends in mass balance. If accumulation exceeds ablation, so if there is more gains than losses, leading to a positive mass balance, the glacier's mass increases and it advances. If ablation losses exceed accumulation gains, leading to a negative mass balance, the glacier's mass decreases and it retreats. The advance or retreat of a glacier is usually extremely slow. It is recorded annually or over decades by the position of a glacier's snout. The snout is often accompanied by a terminal moraine, which is pushed ahead of an advancing glacier. If the glacier then retreats, the terminal moraine will be left behind on the valley floor. Changes in a glacier's mass balance affect how it works and create landforms. If the climate cools, the ice thickens, moves faster and advances. It then erodes and transports more vigorously. However, during warmer periods, a glacier shrinks and the ice becomes thinner and retreats. Its movement slows and it erodes and transports less debris and deposits more. Changes in mass balance can occur on year, with variations in ablation and accumulation, as well as over decades and much longer periods. For example, the Rhone Glacier in France has progressively retreated over the last 50 to 80 years. Ice sheets and glaciers in the last glacial retreated over much longer periods. Let's talk through this picture. So the main input is direct precipitation in the form of snowfall. As this snow is increasingly compacted over many years, it turns from low density white ice crystals, snowflakes, to high density clear glacial ice. Another input is avalanches from mountainsides, and then the third is wind deposition. Strong winds at high altitudes blow snow onto the glacier. The outputs. The main output is water, which results from melting close to the glacier's snout, where temperatures are higher. Where the ice front extends over water, such as ice shelves in Antarctica, huge chunks of ice may break off to form icebergs. This process is called calving. The process of evaporation and sublimation also act as outputs. Sublimation itself is the change from the solid state of ice to gas with no intermediate liquid stage. Energy. A glacier's mass combines with the force of gravity to generate potential energy. As a glacier moves, this movement is converted into kinetic energy, which enables the glacier to carry out the processes of erosion and transportation, and ultimately deposition. Meltwater facilitates the conversion of the potential energy into kinetic energy. If you remember year 8 physics, this is what it's all about. Potential energy is the energy that is stored, and kinetic energy is the energy that is formed from movement. Stores or components. The main stores are snow and ice. There may be seasonal variations in the size of these stores, particularly in more temperate regions where there can be significant winter snowfall and summer melting. Over the last 30 years or so, the stores of many of the world's glaciers have shown decline in mass, which has been attributed to climate change and global warming. Flows and transfers. There are many flows and transfers of energy and material. These include processes of evaporation, sublimation, meltwater flow, and the process of glacial movement, such as internal deformation and basal slip. Flows and transfers are more pronounced and active in warmer regions, where there is significant seasonal variations in temperature. And the world's coldest environments, such as Greenland and Antarctica, glacial systems are less active. Feedback loops. Positive and negative feedback loops are significant aspects of all geomorphic systems. Negative feedbacks regulate systems to establish balance and equilibrium. Positive feedbacks enhance and speed up processes, promoting rapid change. Both positive and negative feedbacks occur in a glacial system. Dynamic equilibrium. Many physical systems move towards a state of dynamic equilibrium, where landforms and processes are in a state of balance. In a glacial system, the equilibrium line marks the boundary between the accumulation zone and the ablation zone. If the glacier is in a state of balance, where the inputs equal outputs, the equilibrium line will remain in the same place. As this balance shifts, the equilibrium line will move up or down the glacier, hence the term dynamic equilibrium. Glacier's health. A glacier's health can be assessed by determining its mass balance. Collecting data to show whether a glacier is gaining or losing mass is essential to determining its health. The Glaciated Glacier in Alaska. The Glaciated Glacier is one of 2 benchmark Alaskan glaciers that the United States Geological Survey has studied since the 1960s. The purpose of this study has been to understand the glacier dynamics and hydrology, as well as assess the glacier's response to climate change. The USGS, the United States Geological Survey, uses several fixed index sites on the glacier, and together with meteorological and runoff data, scientists have been able to plot trends and calculate the glacier's mass balance. Field visits to measure and maintain stakes at the 3 index sites are made each spring at the start of the melt season, and again in early autumn near its completion. By collecting data near the balance maxima, spring, and minima, autumn, direct measurement closely reflect maximum winter accumulation and annual balances at each location. The density of the material gained or lost is measured by digging a snow pit or extracting an ice core. Since 1975, both stakes and the glacier surface elevations have been surveyed at the index sites to allow calculations of velocity and surface elevation change. And that is it for episode number 5 of this series. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. If you did, please like, subscribe down below. I make these every single week until I've done the whole specification. And yeah, if you're a geography student, let me know in the comments if you want my revision material. It's all in the description box below. And if you have any further questions or queries or whatever, or you're looking for different revision material, just drop me a message, drop me a comment. And yeah, please share this around, and I will see you same time, same place next week, Monday, 4:30 p.m. Bye guys.